Welcome back to the Wasabi Vertigo Lorecast. Last time we dove into the atmospheric horror of the Queen's curse and the Firekeeper's haunting silence. Tonight we're cranking the voltage. Episode 3 is a high-stakes technical thriller. The system is glitching, the Oracle speaks, and our Warlord must choose between deletion and corruption.
I'm both excited and terrified. We've been hinting at a hard reset. Now it's here. The narrator is breaking the fourth wall, the architect is pulling back the curtain, and the characters are fighting for agency in a failing simulation. Buckle up.
Let's start with the glitch. On the album, it's this short, frantic track full of record scratches and buffer underruns. You hear a voice trying to speak but constantly rewound and distorted. It's like the narrator himself is corrupted.
It feels as if the story is fracturing. The lyrics are mostly a warning that the sim is failing. There's a line about the world being rebooted that's cut up mid-word, followed by static. For me, it's the moment the fourth wall first cracks.
Absolutely. Up until now, the omniscient narrator seemed reliable. But in the glitch, he tries to speak directly to the characters, to us. He says the timeline is malfunctioning, that something is killing the code. The sound design, the record scratches, the rewinding, makes it visceral. It's like your hard drive stuttering.
I love how it ties into the theme of technical debt we talked about. A glitch is often the symptom of buried problems finally surfacing. It foreshadows that the entire system can't handle the weight of the story anymore. It's a whispered run while you can from the code itself.
And the glitchy narrator sets the stage for our next voice, the source. Because if the program is failing, who do you call? The architect.
When we hit the source, it feels like entering a cathedral. The track uses liturgical-sounding piano, echoing reverb, and what you call binary rain. It's both sacred and digital.
We wanted the source, also known as the architect or oracle, to feel like a higher being. In the lore, she's the one who wrote the code that runs the simulation. She appears blindfolded, floating, with burning files in her hands. Her blindfold isn't because she's benevolent, it's because she sees only in variables and loops. She's impartial, like an algorithm.
There's a strong Gnostic vibe. In those ancient traditions, a Demiurge creates the world but is flawed or indifferent. Our source isn't malicious, but she's loyal to uptime and stability, not to her character's feelings. In the song, she tells the Warlord, "I wrote you line by line and gave you the world. You're a variable in a loop of time." She frames him as data, not destiny.
Right. The Warlord enters full of bravado. He's a king, a warrior. He thinks he can defy fate. The Oracle corrects him. She explains that he was engineered to test the system, that his rebellion is something she expected because every loop accumulates corruption. There's a chilling moment when she offers him a choice: accept deletion and let the world reset peacefully, or corrupt the system and risk everything.
It's like hearing a database admin tell you, your row needs to be dropped for integrity. There's a maternal tone. She calls herself his mother because she wrote him, but also a coldness. When she says she can fill his lungs with fire and burn his file, it's less about violence and more about cleaning memory. That's horrifying.
Exactly. It flips the idea of a loving creator. Her love is measured in uptime and efficiency. When she says, "I am the architect," she doesn't mean architect like an artist. She means the function that constructs and deconstructs. Her blindfold is the impartiality of code. There's a beauty to that, but for a sentient program like the Warlord, it's existential dread.
And yet, despite her cold logic, she does give him agency. She warns him that if he refuses deletion, he will become a virus. She predicts he'll transform from Warlord.exe to corruption.exe. This is where the stakes explode. Does he go quietly, or does he break the game?
Fatal error is the Warlord's answer. The track is chaotic. The beat stutters like a failing CPU fan. The synths sound like a motherboard frying. The lyrics are a manifesto. He refuses deletion. He decides if the system rejects him, he'll become the glitch.
He literally says, "If I'm not allowed to exist, I'll become a virus." That line hits me. It's the only way he sees to retain agency, by breaking everything. It's a nihilistic heroism.
There's an arc here. At the beginning of the series, he wanted to be the king inside the program. In Fatal Error, he realizes he can't win by following the rules. The Oracle told him he was a variable. Now he uses that knowledge to attack the system. It's like a user exploiting a vulnerability they weren't meant to know.
And musically, you can hear him turning into Malware. The vocals degrade. There are glitching drum fills and a low rumbling that sounds like a server room in distress. He proclaims that he's the gate, the flame. He embraces corruption. This is self-sovereign corruption. If the system can't accommodate your existence, you make the system revolve around you by forcing it to handle your chaos.
It's a dangerous idea, agency through sabotage. It also mirrors real hacking culture. When a program denies you privileges, sometimes you exploit it. The Warlord is doing the same, but on a metaphysical scale. And he's aware there's no turning back. Once you're a virus, you can never go back to being a compliant process.
There's also something tragic. He chooses to infect the world he loves. He knows he'll cause a crash, but maybe he hopes that by crashing it, he can free those trapped in the loop. It's a twisted liberation.
Exactly. He's rejecting the false choice the Oracle gives him. The system might restart anyway, but he wants to go down on his own terms, which leads us into the album's climax, System Reload.
System Reload is a rave at the end of the world. The BPM jumps to about 150. The synths are euphoric and distorted. It sounds like the sound of a motherboard burning, but it's also insanely danceable.
We wanted the crash to feel celebratory because the characters see it as freedom. The Warlord, the Dark Queen, and the Blonde Queen converge in a triune union. In the story, we call them the Wasabi Vertigo throuple. The Warlord invites both queens into his arms and swears a new oath. It's transgressive, erotic, and chaotic.
It's like a darkened version of a hero's team-up. Instead of combining powers to save the world, they combine sins to wreck it gloriously. The Blonde Queen, who died in episode 1, returns as a ghost. The Dark Queen is the assassin who killed her, and the Warlord is the man who loved them both. In this moment, they all merge. Love, guilt, revenge dissolve into a single synthesis.
The word synthesis actually appears in the lyrics. They sing that they are the new design. It's a nod to Hegel's dialectic, thesis, antithesis, synthesis. But here, the synthesis is catastrophic. It's the ultimate Wasabi Vertigo, the spicy thrill of doing the unthinkable and reveling in it. The Warlord brags that he has 2 hands, and there's room for both queens. He describes the Blonde Queen's cold skin burning his hand, and the Dark Queen looking sexy when ending a life. It's taboo, but framed as empowerment.
There's a cathartic energy. The track's chorus repeats the sentiment that the crash is a beautiful ride. They've embraced the fatal error as liberation. For the Dark Queen, it means no more guilt because the moral laws are gone. For the Blonde Queen, it's a chance to be with the Warlord again. For the Warlord, it's the ultimate ego trip. You almost find yourself cheering for them, even though you know this ends the world.
And as the music peaks, you hear the system actually shutting down. The lights flicker, the tempo stutters, and then there's a deafening silence, followed by a distorted Windows startup chime. It signals that the server crashed and rebooted.
That's my favorite part. After all that chaos, you hear the familiar chime, but it's pitched down and eerie. Then the very last lines of the album echo the first lines of the first track. The Oracle whispers, "Here we go again." It gave me chills. It means the world reset, the timeline rolled back, and we're trapped in an infinite loop.
It's our nod to Nietzsche's eternal return. The story restarts. The warlord rises, the queen falls, the oracle watches. The characters don't remember, but the oracle does. It's both comforting, the world exists again, and horrifying. Nothing you do can escape the loop. It's like restarting a program without fixing the bug. The glitch will eventually resurface.
That duality is brilliant. The Windows chime is both a promise of normalcy and a prison bell, and it suggests that the Oracle, as the architect, bears the burden of watching this tragedy replay endlessly. Her whispered, "Here we go again," sounds weary, maybe even remorseful. It's a meta wink to us. The album can loop on your playlist and tell the story again, each time revealing new details.
So that's episode 3, the glitch, the architect, the fatal error, the rave at the end of the world, and the infinite loop. We wanted to push the stakes by exploring agency inside a simulation. Is the Oracle trustworthy? She's impartial to a fault. What does it mean to become a virus? It's self-sovereign corruption, a radical form of agency. Can love survive the apocalypse? Maybe, if love is willing to burn the motherboard.
I think what fascinates me is the way the story uses computing metaphors to explore mythic themes. The Oracle is a demiurge, the Warlord is a tragic hero who refuses his fate. The thruple's union is both a romance and a rebellion. And the looped ending is a philosophical dare. Would you live your life the same way if it kept restarting?
Thank you for diving into the lore with us. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to the official Wasabi Vertigo YouTube channel. Leave a comment about which track hit you the hardest or what you think the Oracle's Blindfold means. In the episode description, we'll link to our research dossier so you can explore the references and hidden clues we mentioned.
And as always, let us know if there's a verse or sound design element you want us to dissect. Episode 4 will continue the journey. There are more glitches, more revelations, and maybe, just maybe, a glimmer of hope. Until then, avoid becoming malware.
Or if you do, make it beautiful. See you in the next loop.